Greetings everyone, I hope you're well and having an excellent day. Today's video, we're going to be discussing human evolution in 2025 and how many steps it takes to get to a civilized existence. So, human beings are animals that we expect to behave in a civilized manner. So when I'm talking about human evolution today, I'm not talking about hominins or hominids. I'm talking about chronological age with mental and emotional maturity into becoming a civilized adult. So what we're going to do today is we're going to establish the sliding scale of human behaviors. So what's an idiot to do? That's where we start. And once again, I'm referring back to the dictionary for my definitions. That way everyone has a common reference point. So like I said, what's an idiot to do? Because youth lacks wisdom, self-control, and understanding. So we have to chronologically age and learn, right? So let's define the word idiot. Let me get the dry erase board updated and we'll move on. It all begins right here, idiot. Now we have to go back to the saying, sticks and stones may break our bones, but words should never harm us. So please don't get upset as I explain these words and apply them sometimes to adults. Like I said before, we're establishing that sliding scale of human behavior. So an idiot basically ages 0 to 6, extremely low IQ, inability to form sentences, incompetent to live without parental figures, right? We need a guardian parents to take care of us, provide what we need. Basically, we have no memories before the age of 4. So 3 years old, up to that point, our brains aren't really formed enough to have memories that, we can talk about in the future, referencing, life's examples. So basically we can just say ignorant, right? Because the word ignorant means lack of knowledge, education, or awareness, okay? Here's an example. This is a picture of me as an idiot. There's no date on the back of the picture. I have no recollection of, me sitting there for this picture. And I can see the face that I'm making. Somebody must be waving something or getting my attention. All right. This is a photo of me, the idiot, in action with Mom, and that's a 1970 Roadrunner behind us. So this picture would have been taken most likely sometime in 1970 when Dad was still in the Air Force in South Dakota. I believe they lived in a trailer park, and Dad bought a 1971 Roadrunner new, so he either sold this 70 Roadrunner or traded it in to get a 71. Now, if the parents were to talk about any of this, I don't have any recollection of any of it. I just know about it because of the picture and then asking them questions about it. So I don't remember that 70 Roadrunner. I don't remember the 71 Roadrunner. I know that Mom left in 72 to move to North Carolina, and Dad followed along after he, left the Air Force. So that's our introduction to our first word, idiot. Care to accurately guess the next word in this evolution? Give you about, 5-6 seconds here before I update the dry erase board. Do you have it? All right, let me get it up there. Well, did you get it? Did you get moron? Well, what's a moron? A moron is a person with a low IQ and the behavior of a 7 to 12-year-old. Well, when we're describing a 7 to 12-year-old, what are we describing? we're describing an elementary school student. Or our first job, where we're to learn to become productive members of our society. What are they teaching us? The 3 R's. You heard of the 3 R's? The 3 R's go back all the way back to the 1700s. And they were reading, reckoning, and rotting back then. Reading is pretty self-explanatory. Reckoning means the ability to do basic arithmetic in one's head. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And rotting means the ability to produce something, to make something. Because back in the 1700s, kids, 13 and younger, were in a workforce. They were taught to make things. So by the 1960s, the 3 R's had been redone into reading, writing, and arithmetic. So we're not making anything, we're not, building things as 12-year-olds or whatever in the 60s. I don't know. And by the 1980s, I had returned the 3 R's into read, remember, regurgitate. So a very important thing that I want to bring up at this point in time is in elementary school, that age between 7 and 12, our parents and the school system should have been diligent at teaching us that lying, cheating, and stealing are wrong. Let me say that one more time. Lying, cheating, and stealing are wrong. And we should have learned that between the ages of 7 and 12. It's important as we move forward through our, mental evolution here in bringing up that point. So next up with the moron, we have the ability to perform basic tasks under supervision, such as cleaning our rooms, taking out the trash, doing dishes, chores. And the interesting thing about this for me is how children will come up with any and every excuse under the sun as to not clean their room, or take out the trash. And by the time that they've come up with all of these excuses as to why they can't clean their room and take out the trash, they could have just done the job. And I wonder whether or not it was the parent who failed to teach the child where the things belong in their room, because kids will shove the stuff under their bed, put it in the closet. They don't put their clothes in the dirty clothes for washing and that type of thing. And I always have thought about it, who's at fault? Because did the parent, because they know how to do it, assume that the child knows how to do it? I don't know. But we've all been guilty of shoving the things under our bed and in the closet and not cleaning our room, and we need adult supervision to help us get it done until we've acquired those skills and we can be trusted to do those jobs. So we can say that a moron is less ignorant than an idiot, right? Because they're more on than off. And ignorance is going to play into our entire existence, because we're going to be ignorant of some fact, of some field of study. We're only intelligent in a narrow field of study. Like, I'm not an astrophysicist, so I lack knowledge, education, and awareness of astrophysics. I'm also not a brain surgeon, so I lack those abilities there as well. What's important is learning. So what's next up on our step of our mental evolution? Can you accurately guess that? I'll give you a hint, and about, 5 to 6 seconds before I update the dry erase board. I learned it my very first day, my sophomore year of high school. So I'll leave you with that, and we'll get the dry erase board updated. Were you able to accurately guess the third behavior that we're going to look at? Sophomoric behavior. So the first day of sophomore year in high school, there was a new instructor by the name of Linus Sitzma, and he gave us the word sophomore and let us know that it's a contraction of two words, sophisticated and moron. And basically what I learned from that was the teaching of fools. And we know the saying about a fool and their money are soon parted. So anyway, let's look at sophomoric behaviors, basically ages 13 to 19, the teenage years, because what are teenagers but future adults? Conceited and overconfident in their knowledge, but poorly informed and immature. Basically, they have enough knowledge to be detrimental to themselves and those around them. And I need to then also read the definition of sophistry, which turns into sophisticated. And this is what's interesting to me. The big book here, giant dictionary. Sophist, master, craftsman, expert, wise man. One of a class of teachers of philosophy and rhetoric in ancient Greece who became prominent about the middle of 5th century BC, so over 2,000 years ago, and impressed by the conflicting opinions of the early nature philosophers, developed subjectivistic, relativistic, and skeptical arguments, were the first to offer anything approaching systematic education beyond the elementary branches, and argued for natural equality of men, but taught also the art of successful living, and partly by virtue of their unorthodox opinions and their acceptance of pay for instruction, gradually fell into disrepute. So in other words, the person with the gold influenced the society with what they wanted to be taught. A fool and their money is soon parted. The people with the money determine what they want their societies to know. Human evolution in 2025. Look at what's going on in 2025. Look what's been going on, for 2,000 years. And it seems to me that we still lack the ability to become civilized. And why is that? Well, follow the money and observe the behaviors. So, idealism, application, reality, level of competency, right? The idealism is the rules or the laws that we come up with that we should follow that are equal for everyone. Like when we learn in school, we're supposed to learn the subject matter, and then we're going to take a test, a written test, and then there's sometimes the practical test. Can you then, get it out of your hands and prove that you can actually perform the functions? And to me, that's what reality is. The idealism is that we score 100% on the test, both written and the application, that part, with our hands, proving that we can do the job. That's reality, and it's a level of competency. That's what we're working for, right? So let's, the last one should be pretty easy, right? Number 4 steps to becoming civilized. So civilized will be next. Okay, our final stage, obviously civilized, right? So we have 4 steps that basically describe one word: evolve. So civilized, to the dictionary, to cause to develop out of a primitive state, to bring to a technically advanced and rationally ordered stage of cultural development. educate, refine, socialize. This is what I like. This is what I like to say. That's my take on a civilized adult. One that uses critical thinking, objective truth, not subjective truth, and factual information to live their daily life. Like I said in earlier videos, as an electronic technician, the equipment is made rationally with a specific purpose. So that makes sense to me. And having difficulties understanding people is what brought me to all of this. Rationally ordered stage, that's where we're really behind. And like I said earlier in the video here, I'm not concerned about human evolution from the hominin state. I'm interested in how we become fully grown. It takes 25 years for a human being to fully develop. And it's the last thing that fully develops is the prefrontal cortex in their brain. So I have a book here, Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. I want to follow this up with a very brief left brain, right brain, and I believe the prefrontal cortex is what ties the two hemispheres of the brain together. So let me put that up there as our outro, so to speak, ending today's lesson, if you will. As an oversimplification with the left brain, right brain, because prefrontal cortex is what I wanted to get to. Left brain, controlling the right side of our body, right-handed. In general, it's given the logical or rational thinking. And then the right brain for the left-handed, left side of the body, more artistic, more emotional, more feeling. So I'm just going to call it thinking and feeling, because the prefrontal cortex, as we can see, that would be how we balance that. Prefrontal cortex has a lot of, it's attention span, perseverance, judgment, impulse control, organization, self-monitoring and supervision, problem solving, critical thinking, forward thinking, learning from experience, known as wisdom, right? Ability to feel and express emotions and empathy. So I would say that this is how we balance our left and right brain. That's when I think about how, like I said, human evolution of our mind, that's all important stuff. And now we have our sliding scale of human behaviors. So when we take a look at something that we're ignorant of, and that's our perception. What is it? How does it work? I don't know. I have to acquire and apply knowledge, right? Learn the objective truth, never reject the truth. We're going to get wisdom, self-control, and understanding. I like to think of the self-control as the fight or flight of the animal. Animals have that, and humans, being animals, also have self-control right here. Between thinking and feeling, we're confronted with something new, we're learning something new, like with kids, when they're learning something new and they don't want to do it, what do? They mock it. This is stupid. When am I ever going to use it? We've all been there. We've all done it. It's all part of growing up. So thanks a lot for stopping by, and I appreciate you for doing that. Hopefully this will help us gain a better understanding of the environment that we live in today, our society today, and our society as we move to the future. The things that are, we'll investigate that are broken or wrong, hopefully we'll be able to shed some light on that, and give ways of fixing it, you know, making it work properly. So thank you very much for stopping by. I hope that everyone has a wonderful day, because the most important thing is finding your happiness.